Yeah.
Expensive stuff to do. But yeah, good move, man.
Here.
Hyped.
Yeah. Hyped on the
Sick.
warehouse, hyped like, what the Athens have created and how good I think that area is going to get. It's crazy to see like one family and like the revenue and like how biking affects the town. I think that's the coolest thing. Like biking got that warehouse, which is so cool. Like biking, because I love biking. I feel like we all do. Yeah. And like biking has made that town through the Athertons what it's going to be and what it's actually insane
isn't it?
that the revenue they generate, the Athertons it must be millions a year to that town from biking.
So has the government actually like talked about that's the reason for these warehouses? Like,
I think the warehouses are planned before. I'm not sure.
Okay.
The Athertons are taking, there's two the same size, and the Athertons for the bike company are taking one that's probably double the size of mine, with a lot of offices in. But I'm not sure if they're originally for that or our solicitor, the solicitor I use, not my solicitor, I'm not trying to sound fancy here. The guy we use, he's really cool, and he was saying that the Welsh government built some in the 80s, and it took them years to fill them because they were only supposed to be for this or that, and the Welsh government this time have got 2 filled a year before completion. Like we've agreed it a year.
Yeah.
Like it's such a success story for the government that's decided, hey, we're going to build these new warehouses, generate income in the area and economy. A year before they're even finished, they've got 2 people trying to move in.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Which is such a cool thing, whereas in the 80s and 90s, they were building these ones for warehouses and things, and they couldn't film for years.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's the guys to their bosses or whatever look amazing, I guess, and it is a success story. They've built these warehouses, and there's businesses going in, like I'm going to have part-time staff, maybe a full-time, bike shops opening up. Like the town really is...
Is that your shop?
I own the shop, technically, like the building,
Yeah.
but someone else, it's called Mac 10 Cycles,
Mac 10.
Isaac runs it.
Okay.
And we might do e-bike rental at some point. So if there's a lot of interest, write in the comments, I don't know.
Yeah.
We might do pivot e-bike rental from it.
Sick.
But we are going to do BK Sport merch that you can only buy there.
Okay.
So you can't buy it online. We're going to do merch in the shop.
Nice. That's like the
you
TOD Laguna store. That's
Yeah,
very
you have
cool,
to go there to get it.
Yeah.
So like we'll only sell it in the shop. So if you're in Mac riding the bike park or riding the trails, there's some really good trail riding around there in Corus and places. You can pop into Mac 10 Cycles and pick yourself up some BK Sport, hopefully by February or March, that you can only buy if you go to the shop.
That's cool. Does my mountain biking have a place, do you think? You know, like, I'm thinking of like California here, right, with Moto. That area, Temecula, Riverside, it's like that's the hub of... I'd love that the Athertons are maybe starting that movement of
that's
like,
a good
this
call.
is where like bike brands need to be. I don't know. It seems to be happening down here a little bit, right? You've got the YT mill,
We got a lot around here.
going on around here, but as far as like a global place,
kind of happening here. I think... You want to go?
No.
I think that's such a good shout, and I think it almost is going to happen. Like obviously you've had revs and stuff, and Dan keeps telling me, Dan's like, get a bike park here, get a bike park, find someone to build one. They're not against someone else doing it. They think it would be so good, or Dan, I know at least
I'd agree as well.
Rises everyone up.
Yeah, and then they might go one day at Burnham's bike park, one day at theirs, and you've got more people wanting to come. So they really think it would be good, and I think that whole area is going to create that. There's great trail riding there. There's great, their bike park obviously, and I think it will be like. I've ridden a lot of the Spanish places, a lot of the Italian places in winter previously. The Atherton's bike park, Dovey, is the best place in the Northern Hemisphere in the winter to ride in the world. Well, in the Northern Hemisphere in the world, if you know what I mean. There is nowhere better in the world right now in the Northern Hemisphere to ride a bike, a downhill bike.
That's pretty cool.
Hands down, they have the best place.
Review that.
And even if you count the whole world, I reckon you might put them in the top 3 or 4 right now in winter in the world. Even when you take in New Zealand and Australia.
Why? What is it?
Good variety of tracks, I think.
Yeah.
An amazing uplift service, good cafe, good vibes. It's just an unreal place to ride, really.
Right, okay. Think about how much of a risk it felt just getting your warehouse, yeah?
Terrifying.
Imagine buying a mountain.
600 acres.
Imagine buying 600 acres whilst you're a professional racer.
Man,
It's really impressive, isn't it?
I have so much respect for them now and how hard they work as a family and the risk they've taken on. And Brownie, like their other partners that own it with them, like the team manager, like it's insanely impressive.
Yeah. Probably don't get enough credit.
I really don't think they do.
And they don't from me. Like I just see it and just go, oh, cool.
Dan's on the council
breaking
there.
down all this stuff that they're doing. It's
like Dan Atherton is on the council board in Mac. Like how crazy is that? He's a councillor or whatever you call them. Like
There's no cooler counsellor than
there
Dan.
is Dan Atherton.
I mean, he's literally
man.
like one of my favourite bike riders.
Dude,
full
isn't
stop.
he?
And he's a counsellor.
Dude, he goes
Small
to the
bike,
he's like, oh,
big
sorry.
bike, anything.
He's like,
Dan
I've
Atherton is.
got a council meeting tonight, mate, because we're like, oh, should you go for dinner? He's like, council meeting. We're like, how wild is that?
Have you ever been to council meeting?
I haven't. Have you?
I've been to a lot of council meetings for the
Oh,
bike park.
S4P. Oh, you're a great guy too.
Insane. It's insane the people that go to council meetings largely just enjoy moaning.
No.
Certainly here. And like the stuff they moan about, like the drop in the curb over at somewhere.
The phone box.
What are we going to do?
Too high. You just can't believe it. So it takes a lot of patience. Good on him for being.
Yeah, but I
amongst
think
it.
hopefully once they see that success is starting to happen and tourism's kicking in, it's a no-brainer to keep leaning into it.
You
Surely.
would think so. I know there's a few people in the town that obviously hate mountain biking.
Yeah.
Anywhere people don't like change. And
Yeah.
I was actually walking Larder. There's this like nice little gardens where I take them for walks, and I meet like all these old ladies and we chat sometimes. It's quite funny. It's like very quaint and Welsh. And they were real nice. And I remember walking up to them one day and they were all stood there complaining about these new warehouses that had been built because you can see them and they're quite an eyesore across this farmer's field. I mean, it's going to be good for the economy, but yeah. I think sometimes you are like, change is good if it's bringing more money and people in, but also they like their quiet Welsh little life.
It's so interesting where an industry bases itself out of, because we're talking about mountain biking. There are no mountains around here. There's a lot of bike companies and there's a lot of industry, which is a big part of it. You need people to employ and you need all of the kind of talent. That's why all of the software industry is based out of Silicon Valley. You know, it's not it's not the actual valley, is it? It's
people.
You know what I mean? It's
all the
not
people.
like geographically really anything. It's just people, But really, when you think about it, it should be
I
where
think,
there's mountains.
yeah, because especially there at the minute, if you want to find workers, it's really hard to find workers. But at the same time, you've got loads of mountain bikers that want to move there, but they can't find a job. And at some point, it's going to start meeting.
Yeah.
So people that love mountain biking in the UK and have they're good at software. Let's say they're good at software, but they have to live near London because they work in London for their job.
Yeah.
They might get a software job at the Atherton's bike company at their new warehouse doing something, and they can live in the mountains where they love being in the UK and have a job there. So hopefully.
What a cool success story. I hope it just keeps on growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to think that you might have property, you might have a spot like we've got friends who bought in Queenstown, for instance. Like, Queenstown's pretty crazy, isn't it, as a place?
Queenstown, yeah, but my only worry with Mac is I don't think it will go, I can say Mac for McCuntleth, I don't think it will go that far, but I've been in Queenstown now like every summer for 12 years, whatever.
Yeah. So
and
what's the change you've seen that mountain biking's brought?
It's been really good, mountain biking, but the change they have, because I feel like mountain biking and the outdoors, they did drive a lot of the industry. People have made enough money now to drive other tourism.
What an episode. You did really well there.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Do you know what would finish it off?
What?
If you could put some sort of link over my face.
Yeah, I can do that. I could put a video up on Ollie's face of an episode we think you'll love.
Is it on now?
There is a subscribe button here on this chair, and on my face, another video we think you'll love. Thank you. We appreciate you.
There's nothing in the chair now. Subscribe.